Hey,
think
everybody.
we're live. Yep.
We're live on YouTube, right?
Like I should have my phone.
You want to go Facebook
Yeah,
Live?
I'm gonna go ahead and find
Share.
you on Facebook. Did you tag me in that?
Did you tag
Yeah, I tagged everybody.
Miss Sara Hokum
I made a post and tagged everybody.
for the Facebook Live?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And
So,
everybody
hey
who's
guys,
watching, go ahead and start
we're,
sharing this.
we're Facebook Live right now, and with the Black Zombie YouTube, or is it Black Zombie Disc Off YouTube?
Yep.
Go to YouTube right now and subscribe and watch the live video.
If you're there, just go ahead and share what you got.
Yeah, you can.
And we have somebody watching, so we can answer questions because we want you guys to ask questions as well while you can. And we'll be reading off those. All right, let's get right to it.
So we got Garen Wooten. He is a Black Zombie. He's the owner of Black Zombie Disc Golf. I'm Hadley Stewart. They call me the Monster, and I'm part of the Black Zombie crew. And then we have Miss Sara Hokum, 2012 World Champion Disc Golfer. She's got 86 wins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
86 wins.
Hopefully, I'm gonna get to 3 digits this
Let's
year.
do that.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be
That's-
sweet.
That's the goal.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for coming. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
I love this. I love you guys.
We love you too. We got to play together last year for a charity event. We
Yeah.
played doubles. She played with the Black Zombie crew.
Yeah, it was great. Raising money for that boy. He has what do you have, cerebral palsy or
No,
something?
he had lupus,
Lupus. That's right.
but he's doing much better now.
Yeah.
And we're actually going to do something very nice for him this
Okay.
coming couple of weeks.
Awesome. You guys are great charity folks and always just doing amazing things for the community, and that's what this is about.
Right.
Disc golf.
Was that the
Yes.
Wells Branch tournament you're talking about?
No, we were at
Yeah.
Northtown.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, remember you guys were doubles.
It was last spring, right?
That was last March.
Yeah, that's right.
Last spring,
March
yeah.
14th. That was the weekend after the Waco charity event.
Yeah. Yeah,
You
that
guys
was great.
came out and hung out with us, and we partied,
It was fun.
barbecue, and
Oh yeah, the
Salt
Salt
Lick.
Lick. The Salt Lick.
which is a sponsor for Black Zombie Disc Golf.
Yep, and I've
So-
got a list of sponsors we'll go over as we go, but yeah, shout out to Salt Lick for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. We'll shout out Salt Lick about 4 or 5 times, maybe 10. But Garen he's going to ask some social event questions, and I'll get to know who you are.
Yeah, we'll
as a
just bounce
person.
around. I just want to spice it up and talk about current events, kind of like timestamp kind of where we are today. I mean, right now, coronavirus is huge, just like Black Zombie virus is huge. Also, the political spectrum, a lot of stuff going on right now in politics. I just want to talk about some of these things and how they may or may not be affecting disc golf. So my first question out of the box is, are the disc golf pros talking about coronavirus, and are you guys taking any precautions to not spread the coronavirus? 'Cause I know the NBA just announced and said they don't want any of their players high-fiving any fans or even each other, just trying to do the lockdown.
Wow.
Just precautionary. So I didn't know if there's
I
any
hadn't-
talk behind the scenes at all about disc golf.
I haven't heard anything like in any of official capacity, like not from the Pro Tour or the PDGA or anything. But I was just in Thailand like 3 weeks ago.
Scoot this way a little bit.
So
I've already hugged her.
Oh, no.
yeah, you've already got
Ground
it. I already
zero.
gave it to you. Yeah, and you know, it hasn't really come up. But when it came to traveling to Southeast Asia, a lot of us, there were about a dozen people went over there, and we were all changing our flights so we weren't flying back through China on our way back, and it was a thing. We kind of all joked about it, honestly,
Right.
like because we were like we would share like drinks or something and be like, "You want some of my Corona virus?" But it wasn't a Corona beer, of course. But honestly, like I am slightly concerned about it, but more so that I would catch it, not know I had it, and pass it along to somebody who's elderly or a child or something. Because you know it can be asymptomatic in just healthy average adults. So that's my only concern, and it's very possible I brought it back and didn't know it. You know,
Ground
so
zero.
right here, I'm the patient zero. And then, I mean, Terry Miller actually just recently, he just posted about it. Honestly, he may have, I don't know, he just posted about it like a couple minutes ago. So
I agree. I
it's a
think
thing.
we're safe with our age group for the most part, but you're right. We can contract it, not know we have it, and the symptoms are so mild. We might just go somewhere else where they're, more susceptible to having harsher things happen to them.
Yeah. just spreading it unknowingly is definitely my concern. And then also, it's not even just that, the death rate and the whatever, the contraction rate or whatever, but I mean, it's also the impact on our healthcare system.
Right.
We don't have enough beds to handle 2% of the population in the hospital. So then that disruption of, healthcare professionals and our hospitals, and, even if you have a regular issue that you're going in for that isn't coronavirus, you may not be able to be seen. So those are my concerns.
Yeah, that's why China had to do complete lockdowns, because they couldn't really house all those people that were getting sick either. They're like, you know what, we're just shutting down for a month or however long it is to get it to do its thing.
Yeah, it's crazy actually. I mean, when I was in China and in Taiwan and in Thailand, you'd walk by these they looked like a camera, and it was a temperature sensor, and they had somebody manning it, and they'd pull you out if your temperature was high.
That's like the movies.
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. And then when I got to my hotel in Taiwan, they checked my temperature several times. Every time I go in and out, they check my temperature. So they're really concerned about it over there, as they probably should be. And I don't really have an opinion other than I'm concerned about it, and I don't know how it's going to go.
So I guess we can intro into. So are you telling me pro disc golfers don't just play in the United States? You guys play overseas?
Occasionally.
That's kind of what I'm hearing, as far as that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite country you've played in and competed in?
I mean, I'm gonna say Thailand, the most recent other country. It's a beautiful place, and the particular event I was at was on an island off the coast of Thailand called Koh Samui, and it's kind of like the Hawaii of Thailand. So it's perfect weather, it's resorts, but it's actually kind of an undeveloped version. So maybe more Kauai, perhaps.
Right.
And it's also it's a beautiful place, and the people are really, really friendly, and the course is fun. I definitely recommend anybody.
Any restrictions? I know PDGA has had restrictions in some countries as far as weight on disc, or is it all basically the same over there?
All the same, and actually in Japan, which is where most of those restrictions have been in the past, I believe it was lifted 2 or 3 years ago. So you can actually throw full weight discs in Japan, and the Japan Open is coming back next year, 2021, in May.
That's exciting. Were you there before?
No, I've never been.
Okay, you going this
I
time?
actually didn't really want to go because I don't throw 150 class stuff.
Oh, but now you're ready.
I was like, am I gonna go disrupt my whole season right in the middle to go learn like a whole new bag and then have to readjust to my 170 Grand Classic? So, and it's also very expensive to get over there, and so hopefully next year I can go. I would very much like to go.
That's exciting.
Yeah, we have a couple of Black Zombie guys in Japan.
Yeah, we do. And I think they closed down all the schools over there. I don't know if they've opened back up, but I guess they had to close everything down, waiting for things to kind of go through.
Yeah, the disruption of business and the economy. I mean, if I had investments, I'd probably be a little upset right now.
Right.
With the Dow Jones, the Dow, and the S&P.
Should dip. Hopefully it goes back up again.
Right.
Well,
I'm like, I wish I
talking
could buy
about
right now.
Right now.
Talking about schools,
Uh-huh.
Sarah used to be a school teacher.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your time as a school teacher.
I taught for about 3 years, high school science. I taught mostly sophomores biology, intro biology, but then I also taught an upper level senior class in zoology. So yeah, it was just some great times. It was a very, very stressful job. I loved working with the kids though. Especially the high school kind of age kids. That's a little bit more my style. The little ones, I'm kind of like, I don't know what to do with you. What can you even do right now? High school kids, you can like joke and be a little sarcastic, and they get it. So
Right.
it's kind of my style.
So did you go to school for biology?
I went to undergrad for biology and evolution, actually, my bachelor's degrees, and then I got my master's in education while I was teaching.
Right on.
I was teaching in the St. Louis area, and they had this program where if you had a degree in a particular subject that was also in the high school, then you could teach that subject while you were getting your actual education degree.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's how I ended up doing all of that. And I only really got into education because I was coaching volleyball, and I loved coaching volleyball.
We've got a lot in common then.
And it was very difficult to do while I used to do research at a company that makes soy proteins for food products. And so I was doing that, 8 to 4, but I had to really be at practice by 3. So they'd let me do flex hours where I'd get there at 7 and leave at 3. But then I'd be in the gym all evening, and then game nights, I'd still have to get up at 5 to get to work the next day. And so I was like, maybe I should just teach. That'd be way better. And then I can coach, and it'll be part of the school. But I always told myself I would never be a teacher, though. My mother was a teacher.
Right.
And I watched her spend so many hours for, really relatively low pay for her talent. But then here I go in my 20s. I was like, I'm going to be a teacher. And it was fun, but it's...
How'd you make that breakaway from teaching to disc golf? Were you playing disc golf while you're coaching
Yeah.
volleyball and in school, and then you decided that, hey, this is where I need to
Basically.
be?
Yeah, I actually discovered disc golf maybe my second year in coaching volleyball, my second year of teaching. And then after volleyball season, then I'd go out and play every day after work, school. And then I started shooting away to tournaments. And then I would spend my summers traveling, playing. And then one year I decided to move away from the St. Louis area. And so I quit my teaching job there, and I toured all summer with the intention of picking up teaching in Charlotte, which is where I had moved. But then once the fall came around, I toured for longer than I thought. And then once I got back to Charlotte, it's like, I think I'm just going to wait tables. And then I'm going to go on tour in March. So it ended up being I never got back into it, even though my intention was to. I don't see myself back in it, actually, now. But I still will use everything I learned as a teacher in some capacity in this my new career.
Well, I see that you interact with kids and people in general, teaching them how to throw. You do clinics, and I see that education part of you coming out, and like Texas Women's Champions, where we met.
Oh yeah.
You
Great
did
tournament.
a good clinic for the girls, and they really enjoyed that.
Oh yeah, this last year.
Well, no, the first year that
Oh, okay.
was that 2015 Texas Women's Championship
Okay.
at Wilco. You were selling the Cali Connection hats.
Okay, yeah.
I actually
Nice.
have a picture of you and my little girl and Paige Pierce and
Oh yeah.
Madison Walker. We're all hanging out. We all got a picture together.
I think I remember that. We were maybe in front of the Innova RV.
No, that was
That was next year.
That did happen in between the rounds
Okay.
when you guys went to go watch the girls play. That was super cool. We had all the pro women that were at the event grab a little girl, and they were like pictures with them.
It was great. And we got to, so the Texas Women's Championship, I don't know if they still do it now, but they used to have the juniors go off in between our first and second rounds. So that, and so we go out and watch them, and they have their own little gallery of people.
Well, last year, they got to play the first 9 holes with the Open women. You
That was
remember
great.
that?
I
And
do.
how old are these girls?
Different ages. Just the juniors got to play their first
really cool.
9-hole round with the women, and it was cool to get a autograph and get to see the women throw.
Yeah,
Like,
that was fun.
because they didn't get to
I
really
could tell
do
they
that.
were a little nervous, though.
Well, I mean, lightning and raining, and it was just wild. That whole thing
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, we didn't have good weather this last year, but the TD handled it pretty good.
Oh, it was
for
great.
The most part.
We had
It was
a
a great
blast.
time. Yeah, definitely go to Texas Women's Championships if you can, especially if you're in the Central Texas area. What would you
It's
know?
going to be in Temple this year.
Is it May 9th for the WGE, or is it a different?
I don't know the exact date. Vinnie Miller was having a meeting last week after we interviewed him, so we'll know soon what the actual date is. But it's going to be in the Temple area.
And if you're not a lady, you can still come out and support and help with scoring and caddy, and there's a lot of things to do that you can participate in, even if you're not actually going to compete.
My daughter and I actually did the what would they call it? The girly station, where we would bring fruit for all the girls for every year that we participated. So you could guys do something like that. You make baked goods or beef jerky. Set up a table and give it to the girls when they walk by.
So I always play, or have been for many years, playing the Daisy Chains event as my women's global event, which is out in California, in Watsonville, near Santa Cruz. And they always have all the men volunteer, and one of the stations is we do like a little table, a poker round, where he'll deal cards to each of the people on the card, and then we'll play poker, and then whoever wins gets like a necklace.
Oh,
like we
that's
give away
cool.
jewelry and stuff.
Wow, that's a pretty neat thing to do.
Yeah.
Little game in between the round,
Mm-hmm.
or in between holes.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think the best way to grow the women's side of the sport? We talked about that with Vinny and even Scott Stokely when we had them on. And what are your suggestions? What do you think works to get girls to play?
It's multifaceted, right? I mean, there's a lot of ways you can approach it, and it's whatever way works best for you personally. Certainly, women's leagues, having a dedicated women's league that is, hopefully it's weekly. Sometimes you can only do it monthly, and that's also okay. It's a good start. But I think giving women a chance to play with each other on a regular basis is a big factor. A lot of women who are new don't really want to come out with a bunch of guys and try to throw in front of them, but they're willing to do it if it's a bunch of women.
Mm-hmm.
It's less intimidating. They've got other women who are also new trying to learn to play, and it doesn't matter if they're only throwing 50 feet. They're going to be encouraged. They're going to see other women struggling and then also having successes. They're going to see some of the best women in the area be able to bomb it. So, specifically they're going to see women throwing big shots and think, okay, so we can do this.
I can do this.
So I think women's league is a big one. And then supporting your local women's global event or any women's tournaments. I think that's another avenue. If you're a TD, having a women's only event, which is another thing. There's a lot of women's only events in California, Oregon, Michigan, and then even the East Coast, Virginia, Maryland. They have a really good thing going on. And a lot of times the women in those areas, they don't even look at a mixed event anymore because they have so much fun playing with just a women's event and just other women that they aren't even looking at those other events as an option because they really they don't want to be the sideshow to the men. They want it to be about them, and they're all out there doing their thing. There's certain things with tournaments like that women care about a little bit more than men in certain ways, like having proper bathrooms, having a players pack that isn't a bunch of heavyweight overstable discs, right. Having a players pack that's got some lotion or some foot scrub or something that's more products that ladies like, those types of things, making it female friendly. Even having like a mixed card for the first round, all different divisions, having a healthy provided lunch. Stuff like that. Offering camping is also another really, really common way that women will get together and will enjoy playing a tournament. Is there's camping, and maybe it's included, maybe it's not, but it's affordable, and also having stuff on the schedule early, because women, just in general, we're a little bit more frugal with our extra cash. We also take usually maybe a little bit more responsibility over the household and maybe the children. Not always, but sometimes I would say in general. So being able to plan that, and most women are also working a side job or a full-time job, so they have to be able to get work off. So there's planning it ahead enough and far enough ahead that they can ask for that time off, and and women will travel. Like a lot of times for women's nationals, a lot of women come from all over to play, and they count on it being at that time every year, and
they go ahead and schedule off for those few
yeah.
months ahead of time, especially if a year in advance. This is going to be where I'm going to go. I saw on your PDGA page that you're already signed up for like 10 events.
Yeah, most of the Pro Tour, they do the Pro Tour, which does this wonderful thing called the Tour Pass, which allows us to pay for every tournament up front. We don't have to hit the registration day and make sure we sign up in time. So that's a really great thing that they do for the touring players. I'm hoping the national tour takes note and allows us to do the same.
Right.
It's a little bit to drop. It's a couple $1,000s to drop in the winter, which is also kind of hard, but it's also much better than having to try to hit the button quick enough in the registration, because that's becoming a huge issue.
Yeah,
Right, for sure.
I've been noticing tournaments just like selling out so fast now. That's
It's a good
Like-
problem.
yes, that's good. Maybe you're gonna have to make them a little bigger or like.
Well, there's only so many spaces on the course. You know, I
Right.
mean,
Yeah, so maybe 2 courses. Like
yeah.
I know that I think the Waco Charity Open is 2 courses, correct?
No, but they run it on tee times. Well, okay, so for the pro side, they run it on tee times, and they can run a couple, like 140 or something through the course in one day.
Mhm.
Not sure exactly that number. But the AM side, they do have them at a different course for the first couple of days, and then they can play the Beast if they make the cut, I think is
The final.
yeah, on Sunday.
Yeah, the final.
Where on
9 or-
Sunday, the pros are done. We finish Saturday night.
Okay.
And then they have that huge bridge party, the suspension bridge party.
Yeah.
And it's going to be even bigger this year. Zuka got involved in the players party, and now they're calling it Zuka Fest.
Sounds
Still on
awesome.
the bridge.
Yeah, so
Right on.
Zuka Fest, it'll include, they try to find a beverage sponsor. So there'll be, I know traditionally out at Waco, there's a liquor and a beer sponsor. So there'll be sponsors out there, and then they're looking for live music. So it should be a huge party.
And that's the Waco tournament we're talking about. That's coming up when?
I believe it's the
Next week.
13th,
13th.
14th, and 15th.
Yeah.
12th through
12th.
the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
So the party will be Saturday night, which I think is the 14th.
Yes.
Yeah. So bridge party.
Mm-hmm.
Come watch the finals of the golf out at the course.
Yeah.
The ladies will finish off that also. We'll be teeing off at like 3:00.
So y'all will be the
So
final
come
card.
finish watching us, and then
We'll
go
be
to the
there.
party.
The Waco courses are amazing, whether you can get there and watch them, or watch them, I guess, as Joe Met's coming out, or they have somebody else filming them this time.
So the Pro Tour has a live feed. So
Mhm.
Smashbox is the main people that. It's actually the Disc Golf Network. Actually, is the new subscription service, and the final round will be free to view on the Disc Golf Network. But the first 2 rounds, you do have to be subscribed to that,
Gotcha.
which I believe is like $8.99 a month, or you get 50% off if you're a PDGA member.
Okay, nice.
So, or it's like $65 for the year.
And you heard it here first.
Yeah, so check it out. That'll be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday again is free. Thursday, Friday you have to pay for. But the feedback from the memorial was very, very good on the Disc Golf
That's good. I know
Network.
we went like this for a bit with trying to figure out where people were going to be. Joe Met's Pro was doing so good. Other people were trying to like emulate, and it wasn't quite working. But I'm glad to see others are stepping up.
Yeah, it's just a process. It takes time
For sure.
to learn. And Steve Dodge started the Pro Tour, and it's only from his hard work that the Pro Tour is as successful as it is now. Even though when he was doing it, maybe he didn't have all the best pieces of the puzzle put together.
It's a hard puzzle.
He was still the doer.
Yeah.
We all can be critical, but it's the person out there actually doing the
A
things
lot
that
of failure to get to success.
Yeah,
I mean,
so.
you fell many times before you actually become successful. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, the only time you've actually failed is if you don't learn anything from it.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about sponsors? Not just with MVP who sponsors you, but for the women's sponsorships, do you feel like that's also gotten better the last couple of years?
Yes.
I know the men's, you hear it all over Facebook, people talking about, oh, who signed with who. Don't hear about the women as much, but you feel like they're taking care of the girls as well?
Well, I mean, if you look at Paige Pierce,
Mm-hmm.
right now she's one who's setting the bar for the women's game, both athletically and in the sponsorship realm. And I mean, her discs are selling out like hotcakes. So I mean, that does show. I think that shows the world, and it shows other manufacturers that you can have a woman on a disc, and it's not going to drop your sales. In fact, it will increase your sales, and people can get hyped about women disc golfers. I mean, maybe it takes being number 1 in the world. I'm not sure, but maybe you have to throw 500 feet.
Do you throw 500 feet?
No,
Yes, you do.
I get to watch Paige throw 150 feet past me. Sometimes I throw twice before we get to her drive.
That happens to me all the time.
Maybe
My-
3 times. I have thrown 3 times before we've gotten to her drive before. But
So what do you think about I know it's controversial, what do you think about the women's tees or the drives being shorter, like shortening up the course? Do you think that's good to kind of get women to come out and play? Or some of the women just want to play with the guys and play exact same course?
yeah, I think it's very good to have a different layout. It doesn't always have to be shorter. I think the important part is that, like, especially on a par 3, and I think this way about the men's game as well. On a par 3, the majority of the elite golfers should be able to get to the hole. They should be able to get inside the circle.
On their first throw.
Yes, on a par 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so far in the women's game, when we haven't had shorter tees, either nobody can get there on a par 3, on a 450, 430, even 400-foot par 3s. Either nobody's getting there or like 2 people are getting there. So if we're gonna really, if we assume, this is an assumption though, if we assume that the game is designed properly for the men in the elite side of the sport, then if we transfer those same rules to the women's game, then we should have shorter tees.
Mm-hmm.
You can solve the tweener issues by either making the tee shorter, or you can make the tee longer and make it a par 4 for us. I think it's just important to realize like how far people are throwing, and if we're analyzing or breaking down the game, we want there to be a certain percentage of people that can get the birdie and understand what it actually takes. Like, how are we designing the course so that it is appropriate for the field that's playing it?
That's a good point.
And I don't think that. And right now we just kind of do it for the men and the women at the elite level. But same goes for as we move down the line of amateurs and like AM3 women should not be playing the same course as AM1 men. Like, it shouldn't be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I used to have a chip on my shoulder when I first started playing, when somebody would tell me, well, maybe you should just play from the short tee. And I'm like, what? You don't think I can throw from the long tee? Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
And I would be offended. But as I've grown in the game, I realize that these are like just the standards of how life is, and it's okay, and it's a better golf if we're playing from appropriate distances, and it's not about like trying to pretend that we can throw as far as the guys. Like,
Right.
I can throw as far as a bunch of guys, but when we're talking about the elite level of the game, there's a stark difference. And playing men's layouts as a woman in the elite side, it's boring.
Right.
I'm like throwing as far as I can, and then I pitch up 70 feet and then just tap in a 5-footer. And that's over and over and over again, which is kind of why I wasn't out at the Memorial. But that's definitely why I wasn't at Vegas.
A lot of that out there.
Vegas, we play from the same tees as the men.
Yeah.
There's a couple courses, and we play 3 different courses. One of the courses, I can get to the hole for a birdie on like 3 holes. And I'm throwing the same disc as far as I can, as hard as I can, over and over and over and over and over again.
So if they would have made the pars more like, it'd be par 4 instead of par 3, and you're actually getting birdies instead of
Then we pay like
par,
it would be like a par 89.
or just shorten the hole. Just put some
Playing
flags.
a lot more golf.
Yeah, I think that they really should consider having a separate set of tees out there, especially because they have AM3 women out there playing the same layout as the open men are playing, and it's hard for the open men. Like, I can't imagine playing like age protected or lower amateur divisions out there. They play the same layout, and I'm like,
That's a very good point, because then you're going
rough.
to have these people who may travel, but why would they want to travel and get beat up so bad as far as those longer holes? But I think if you drop that down, like you're saying, people might more likely travel, get more women out there playing.
Now, their particular, I'm sure Jeff Jacqua would probably say that the tees, they put a lot of money into getting these nice turf tees out there. So when you're asking them to add another set of tees or even 2 more sets of tees, I can appreciate how on this golf course especially that they don't have the ability to do that. It's a golf course. They only could put the tees in certain places. They can't very well just put the tees on
Right in the
middle of the golf fairways. You
Right.
know? So he may not have the ability to actually do that out there. But what he could do is move the basket shorter.
And he's the TD for...
Yeah, no, he does a great job. He works very, very hard, and the LVC also, there's an anonymous donor that donates $4,000 extra to the women's side of the sport, which is really, really awesome. I don't know who does that, but thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Even though I
We
guess
could use more of those.
even
folks.
though it makes some of the men mad, well, just the internet men, not the actual.
Not the guys
players.
playing.
Yeah. The keyboard
Well,
warriors.
yeah, keyboard
Like,
warriors.
how come they get $4,000? Shouldn't that be split equally?
It is between the
Between
ladies
the
that
women.
win.
Sorry, not sorry.
So how important is nutrition to you?
Very.
When you're traveling, obviously you can't always get the best food. We either have to prepare ahead of time to have it with you, or decide on a certain menu. Like, I better eat this because I can't have this.
Yeah, well, I live out of my van on the road, and
It's a nice van, by the way. It's not just a.
I mean, hopefully I'm parked by a river. It's I have like a stove, right? Like a little propane stove with a little grill and a stove top on one side. So I cook my meals.
That's good.
And I have a little fridge in there that I have to grocery shop like almost every day because my fridge is so small. But it does allow me to cook my own meals, and yeah, and I've figured out how to do dishes on the road, which is the worst. I don't even mind when I do dishes in a real sink. I'm like volunteering. Like, I'll do the dishes. I have running water and like soap and like otherwise on the road you're like running water is like a commodity. Because I don't have running water in the van. Yeah.
So you go in the bathrooms that have like.
I've washed dishes in the shower with me while I was showering.
That makes sense.
I've washed dishes in a rest area bathroom.
Told you we'd have pointers.
Yeah, you gotta learn how to live on the road right here, right now.
Oh God, yeah. I've washed dishes in a lot of places, or I'll just like if I'm staying with someone a week, I'm like bringing this bin of just dirty dishes and like.
You're like, do you mind if I take a shower? I'm gonna wash dishes.
We're multitasking here.
So one of the things that's trending right now is the CBD. I mean, you see it everywhere. I mean, obviously the THC, all these different states are making it legal for THC, but CBD is booming everywhere where it's legal. Mm-hmm. Do you take CBD supplements of any kind?
I haven't started yet, but I have been wondering about them, particularly for joint pain. You know, I constantly have kind of knee problems, and then after a long weekend, my shoulder's pretty sore. So I've been considering, but I haven't like actually done it.
I just started doing research, and there's a lot to it. I had a biology degree as well, but kind of interesting to see how that stuff works. I'm not totally bought into it, but learning about the different strands, the spectrums. Forgive me, I'm not saying all the right words, but there's so many different types of spectrums that people can take, or certain amounts for different ailments.
Yeah. So does it matter like the strain and also the extract itself, the particular version of the CBD?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it does.
It's like
that's a
the
yes.
strain
The
of the plant and then
yes.
the cannabinoid that is extracted.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
and how it's
twofold.
And how it's extracted. If
Yeah.
it's extracted with oils, or if it's extracted, what is the? I can't remember what. We've been doing
Couple
a lot.
ways.
We've been doing some research.
Yeah.
Yep. Got the full spectrum. But so Black Zombie's always trying to think of something new and creative to do. And we're talking about doing our own CBD gummies, doing a focus and a recovery. Focus would be like your caffeine and something to kind of get you a little perked up.
Something you'd maybe eat before
Maybe
Before the round.
Which might
Or
not-
just say that you wake up in the morning, instead of having a cup of coffee, you take this instead.
or instead of your energy drinks, we all those are bad, and I still drink
Less
those, but
sugar, less and more focus. No crash.
And then the recovery had the CBD, the turmeric, and things that like anti-inflammatories to put
Yeah.
inside there, having like an infused gummy. So these are, you have one of these, CBD gummy, triple layer bear. We're trying these guys out.
This is.
Did I eat the whole thing?
Yep.
Yes, and this is the caffeine one, or is this the?
Late night, no, this is the CBD.
This is the CBD.
Just
so
straight CBD. So what would the effects of this be?
So it's anti-inflammatory,
Okay.
relaxation, calmness. I'm sure some of our viewers that do it more than we do or like into it might be able to tell us even in the comments. So let us know what you think about CBD.
yeah,
What's
we're
important?
We're gonna take some questions and answers in a little while from any of the viewers, but
I know we have Don in the back. He's got Starlight Vapor,
Starlight Vapor.
and he sells CBD. I know a lot of people in Austin are starting to sell the CBD stuff. Are you seeing an uptick in that?
Somewhat. CBD is a little bit more pricey than the e-liquids in the shop, so yeah.
E-liquid, same thing like CBD liquids, I guess. The people put under their
Well,
tongues.
the CBD liquids we have are vapable, or you can also do them as a tincture under your tongue. Other CBDs are just a tincture that you can use directly in your tongue with like MCT oil or something like that, which is not vapable. Lungs do not take oil, as we've seen.
and do not vape oil. Do
Yeah.
not vape anything that's oil,
Yeah.
please.
Definitely.
Or off the street, as we found out.
Yes.
Get them in a
Exactly.
store like Starlight Vapor. Don't give them a bad
Know
name.
your dealer.
Know
Yes.
your dealer.
Yeah. If you're going to vape, buy your vapor from a vapor store.
A reputable vapor shop.
Yes.
And what's your motto? If you're on fire, then what? Something like that?
If you're smoking, you best be on fire.
Yeah.
Uh,
Starlight Vapor, he's a great sponsor of Black Zombie Disc Golf.
Yes, thank you very much. And so we have Sara Hokum's brand new disc that just came out. Hers.
my tour series.
Her
Yes.
tour series disc.
So this is exclusive
This-
because these just came in the mail like literally 4 hours ago. And they're not going to be released to the public officially until Friday at 11 a.m. on the MVP Pro Shop. So,
So MVP.com,
MVPProShop.com.
Gotcha. MVP
Yeah, and actually MVP
ProShop.com.
just opened their own direct-to-consumer pro shop.
Cool.
Just like a week or two ago.
So they weren't selling direct to the consumer
No,
before?
they only worked through their vendors prior to
Oh,
now.
Okay.
But they didn't have a way to release, specialty stamps for team members, or any like small runs that they couldn't distribute to every vendor.
Right.
Because they have hundreds of vendors, and if they only make a run of 200,
Who's going to get them?
they couldn't find a good way to really distribute those properly. So they wanted to have, a way to sell team stamps for their team and then also distribute specialty runs that they couldn't make in big enough quantities. And then any LEs and SEs, limited editions, special editions that didn't sell well through the vendors, they're also, after a certain period of time, they're going to release them on there. They're also releasing apparel on there. MVP they've been really great about making discs, but they haven't been great about providing apparel.
It's hard to do both.
It is, when you're a disc making company and then everybody's like, oh, we want clothes, you're like, oh, okay, well.
What size, what color,
How
what
do I do
shape?
this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely a challenging task, and making sure they're correct sizes and the cuts, and clothing is like a whole bag
And
of
the
worms.
trend, if you don't keep up with the trends, all of a sudden you have a bunch of inventory you're just sitting on. You're like, well, I guess we can't use those. It's
Yeah, it's a huge challenge. So they're also releasing limited apparel on the site. So I'm really excited about it, and this is my official stamp for the 2020 season. It is called the Temple of the Serpent Sidearm. There's a little bit of a backstory here, so I don't know if you can see it very well here in the shot, but there's a temple here with a basket on the top, and then this is a python. And then I'm throwing a shot down here that kind of merges into the python's body. So this is like, this kind of a two-part, it's kind of like a two-part thing. The temple part is partially because I was just in Thailand and I got to see all these beautiful temples. But it's also, the reason why it's important to me is that disc golf is a place for people to come together. And humans need other people. We need to be with people. And in this day and age, even though there's billions of people in the world and so many ways to connect through technology, I think people are lonelier than they've ever been.
for sure.
And so I remember when I first started playing, the group of people I played with out at Quail Ridge, what up, Ridge Runners? We would get together on Sundays and we called it morning worship. We'd be like, are you going to be at church tomorrow?
That's our church.
You know?
a lot of
And
times.
if you go to a traditional religion, like, you're getting that community, and I'm not trying to say you shouldn't do that, but if you don't do that, disc golf can be your church, and
She's
disc
saying
golf
play
can,
disc golf. Is what
disc
she's
golf can be
saying.
your community of people that you would maybe otherwise not have
Right.
access to. So that's kind of the temple, the disc golf church-ish, and then the python is on there. Because also when I was in Thailand, I got the opportunity to face a fear of mine, which was snakes. This gentleman rescued snakes on the island that we were on, and he invited a group of us to come and release some of these snakes into the wild that he had pulled out of people's toilets and TV screens and lamps and cobras and reticulating pythons,
Wow.
Nice.
like hardcore snakes that can kill you basically. And so we went up there and I had to drive a little motorbike up this huge mountain, pinned as fast as it would go because I couldn't make it up the mountain on my little Vespa, which was also the first time I've ever driven one of those. So that was also facing a bit of a fear. But more so is going to see these snakes and watching the gentleman manipulate them, and like I realized like, you know, they just want to get away from us. Like even the cobras, like it was like I feel now since I watched him and he talked about their behavior, and you know they're not trying to hurt you or kill you. They're just trying to get away from you.
Except the water moccasin, that gives all the snakes a bad name.
I guess I didn't.
They're the ones that chase you, but the rest of
Okay,
them are
I
good.
believe you. I didn't.
Water moccasins, not so much.
They are chasers.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
And then at the end of everything, I'm like really just wow, this is so great. I definitely don't want to touch any of the cobras or whatever, but it's just watching them. Like they get really close and they aren't scary as he's talking about them. But then at the end, they brought out these huge Burmese pythons that a monk used to own, and the snake rescuer decided to take them in because the monk couldn't have them anymore, and they were like 7 feet, 9 feet long. And they brought him out, and they're just like hanging out with them, and I'm like looking at him like, oh god, that thing's huge.
I'm gonna hold
I'm
it.
so scared. And then I watched a couple people be brave and go hold it, and you know it just kind of wrap itself around you and kind of move along your body in different ways. And then I was like, all right, screw it, I'm just gonna do it. So I got the smaller one first, and I got it on my shoulders, and I'm like, wow, this is so cool. And then I went back for the bigger one, and it was wonderful. It was like they feel so cool, and they're just so calm, and like I was never scared. But the interesting part was I'm like letting it crawl all over me and enjoying like just kind of making sure it's comfortable. I want to make sure it's comfortable and supported properly. But as I'm feeling that, and I'm like just up, like my upper body is like kind of intrigued, but then my lower body, my legs were like shaking uncontrollably like the whole time.
The subconscious.
It really was a battle of the conscious versus the subconscious. Right. And I felt calm, but my legs were like, what are you doing? So
Run!
So it just, I don't know, it really just taught me
that
like,
moment of
I wanted to get a pet snake after that, you know? So it just taught me that like, you know, face your fears, and I think I'm going to try to take that into my my game this year a bit, and you might see me throw a few more backhands than normal.
And that's part of the Black Zombie motto is fear none, challenge all.
Yeah.
If you fall down, stand up.
Sing the whole thing for us. You probably know the whole thing.
I've heard it, so you want to hear something funny. Rain got the Black Zombie song as her players pack for her very first disc golf tournament at the Texas Women's Championship. I've listened to that song on repeat in my car, driving hours, and she's like, no, just keep it on. I just want to hear it again. So I've heard this song probably it's been 6-7 years, and I've heard this song probably, is it 4 minutes long? 4.5 minute song. I've listened to it like 5 hours straight from San Antonio to Houston to back to Austin.
Wow.
And that was just one car trip, right? Every morning we go on our way to school, she would listen to that.
It could be Teletubbies or something worse though.
At least it's not Baby Shark.
It's not Baby Shark. It's not Baby Shark. It's either that or, you know, we'll listen to like Bob Marley.
There you go. Black Zombie, Bob Marley, same category.
It's spiritual and inspirational. And that was another thing that I wanted to ask you. Who are the people that inspire you? Like disc golfers
man.
or
Yeah, disc golfers. You know, anybody like actually Ellen DeGeneres. Like I love her. She's just so kind, and I love what she does for people. Anybody who's really kind, like in whatever, even, you know, people
Leonard
who
Brandon, sneaking out.
people are, you know, even in whatever position, whether that's, you know, a cashier at a, you know, at a fast food restaurant, you know, just, you know, being nice and looking you in the eye and asking you how your day was, like that's the kind of, like, kindness inspires me. In disc golf particularly, you know, I always looked up to Des and Elaine, and certainly Val. Val is probably one of the most kind players out there. And then Paige inspires me. And honestly, a lot of these young guns popping in, I'm like, how long you been playing? Like, you've only been playing for 2 years, and all of a sudden you can already do this.
They have YouTube. We didn't have YouTube.
That's true. But it's inspiring me to, like, you know, make sure I'm still getting better. Mm-hmm. You know, my rating has been pretty steady for years now. And this winter I put in a lot of time to my
And
back end.
And you've gone up 3 points this last.
Yeah, I actually am like the highest. I think I'm the highest rate I've ever been, or close to it.
What's your rating?
969.
Excellent. That's the
Yeah.
most excellent.
Yeah.
I saw that today. I was
Yeah.
like, she's 969.
Yeah.
Did y'all see the video that I shared today? I think you did. There's a guy that I know reached out to me and a couple other vendors like Dynamic Disc, whatnot. And he's putting together trying to do a full feature disc golf film. But he raised enough money by going through Jeremy Rusko at Dynamic Disc, myself, just getting a little bit of money, a little bit of stuff to put in there, just enough to get the first 15 minutes done so we can actually really go to the investor and say, hey, look how many people are watching this 15 minutes of this disc golf show, which is...
What's it called?
It's by Charles Belden, so shout out to Charles Belden.
Charles Belden.
It's called The Only Decision That Counts. And it's kind of based on having short-term memory of your last shot. The only decision that counts is the one you're about to make. All the ones behind you, you can kind of forget those and you're starting from scratch where you are, whether it's in life or in disc golf. And he's really put this together. Here he has a screenplay together. It's the first 15 minutes. He's trying to emulate or get that feeling from like Karate Kid but for disc golf. So this kid is kind of down and out. He's been, I believe it's his, he's in a foster home. He gets adopted. His new dad comes in play. I won't give away even the first 15 minutes, but basically it's his struggle as a kid trying to figure out where he belongs, and he starts getting into disc golf. And the first 15 minutes is actually really good. So if you go to, it is on Vimeo, Vimeo, and it's called The Only Decision That Counts. Check it out. The more hits, the more people that watch that, the more credibility the show gets, more likely the people that might pay for the full length feature will go, you know what, there's 40,000 people that are watching this. Let's give them some money.
Nice.
That's awesome.
There's also a film out called Hard Plastic. Gosh, what's his name? Lucas Dick is the one who put it out. It's available on. Gosh, where's it at? I think it's on a platform. I think you have to pay like $2.99 or something to watch it.
Maybe
And
YouTube.
you've seen it already?
I haven't seen the full thing yet.
Is it behind the scenes or is it actually a
It's a film.
show?
It's about him. It's about his sister who's aspiring to be a disc golfer, and like her father doesn't like it, and just all her struggles to do it. It's also partial. It's like dark comedy though.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's actually Andy Dick's son. So Andy Dick is in the film.
Oh, that's
as well.
cool.
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
We'd like to do a shout out to one of our local sponsors for disc golf is Nikki's Pizza. They actually are located at the Tech Rich Shopping Center, and if you mention Flying Goombas, Hadley Monster Disc Golf, you can
Gorgeous pizza.
Whoa.
you can actually get 2 slices and a pizza, 2 slices and a drink for $5. Just tell them Hadley
Good
Monster
deal.
sent you.
Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks, Adam and Jose, for hooking that up, and see y'all at lunch.
Pizza's one of my weaknesses on the nutrition train.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Not only the convenience, but I mean cheese and bread and meat. Come on.
I know.
And like
all
you eat
the
a little
goodness
crusty
that your
cheese.
stomach, that
Oh.
gut biome is like, just give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Whew.
Yeah.
Have you tried the cauliflower crust?
No.
It's a new thing trending on us. I haven't even had it yet, but I guess some of these pizza shops, so people don't want all the bread, they make this crust out of cauliflower.
Mm.
Sounds really good. Sounds healthy. I don't know whatever else is
I
inside
wonder
there.
what the texture is like.
Right.
It's actually pretty good. I think they put Parmesan cheese to it to make the crisp, like
Like a Parmesan crisp.
yeah, like Parmesan crisp, but it gives it more texture so that it tastes. It's like you're eating your bread, and it holds the cheese and sauce. And I've actually had it.
Now if they can just get rid of the cheese.
What is wrong with you?
I mean, you know, dairy.
Yeah, you're right. You know.
But of course, my favorite is like extra cheese, extra pepperoni. Let's go.
Yep.
Stuff the crust with something.
Mm-hmm.
Dip it in some garlic butter.
What we like and what is good for us is not always the same thing.
That's true.
Every once in
That's
a while. It's allowed.
Yeah, you got to treat yourself.
Yeah.
Do good. Treat yourself.
Otherwise, I'm kind of like a meat, vegetable, rice kind of gal.
Yeah.
So one thing I did these the YouTube channel live feeds, we want to hear back from you guys, like what you guys like to see. Do you want to see 3 or 4 of us talking, 2 side by side? Do you want to have certain subjects we talk about? Trying to spice it up and talk about different things. like right now, let's talk about politics, since politics is going on right now.
Well, let's do something else. I know that we have some subscribers that subscribed last week. Let's pull a name out of the hat. Who's
How you gonna pull it up?
oh
I don't have a hat.
oh we'll do that at a later time then.
Back to politics.
I'm trying to get out of politics.
No, really, all I was gonna say about politics is like how the disc golf community, because I know that Facebook can get kind of volatile from all the different extremes talking about each other, or talking at each other, whatnot. Do you see that the disc golf community kind of tearing that apart like it does everybody else, or is disc golf powerful enough to keep the people who may disagree on politics still in that same boat? Are you still seeing that kind of rip and tear even amongst your pro?
You know,
peer
I mean,
friends?
on the internet, you know, everybody is like hates each other, but in person, I don't see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think once in person, everyone's like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah.
you
I
actually
mean,
need friends and you want to talk to
Yeah.
people, but on the
I
internet
mean-
you're like, I don't like anybody anyway.
Yeah,
Right?
I feel bad. I
understand.
want you to feel bad.
It's funny you bring this up because yesterday was a primary day, right? And so everybody's posting all this political stuff. So I was just like over it. So I posted, thanks to everyone who is sharing their political opinions today. I needed to clean up my news feed. Hashtag unfollow, hashtag more puppies, please.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot tell you. I got pictures of like 400 puppies in the comments.
Nice.
Like it
You
was
want puppies?
amazing.
We'll give you puppies.
I want more puppies. No, I just figure online nobody's really gonna convince anybody else of anything.
And when they're so aggressive, it's like their point can't be to change your mind, because when you start calling someone names, it's not like they're gonna go, "Oh, you know what? I'm glad you called me that, because now I'm coming over to your side."
Yeah, I mean I don't think it's worth it. I don't think the platform is set up for political debate.
No, it isn't.
I mean, if you want to post politics, no big deal, each to their own, of course, but probably gonna hit that unfollow button. I won't unfriend you. I just unfollow.
Yeah, but I've done some unfollow, unfriend, just
Yeah.
usually the ones that are extremely the side. I'm kind of
If
like,
you notice
I
I
don't
unfollow
unfollow.
you and you want me back, just tag me and maybe.
maybe another chance.
I don't unfollow anybody or unfriend. Post anything that you want to post, just don't tag me in it. That way, because I'm not really into the politics things too much. If you notice, I'm into disc golf and disc golf related things.
Yeah.
So, if you
I mean-
want my attention, post a basket of disc, some people throwing discs, some professional disc golfers posing with me. Go ahead and do that.
Right. We'll just Photoshop some
Yeah.
people in.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Just play some disc golf. I love that. Let's make disc golf great and play disc golf, right?
Yeah.
So what makes disc golf great? I know you have a sponsor now, MVP. You were with Legacy before that,
Yeah.
Discraft before that. Is that right?
Prodigy, then Discraft. Yeah.
Right on. So
I'm on my fourth
so what other sponsors besides MVP?
my fourth
Fourth.
husband.
You gotta get married. You're just dating, right?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So any other sponsors you have? Any other shout outs you want to give as far as?
Yeah. So Paragon Disc Golf, Miles Parkhill out there in Central Illinois. He's been a great supporter of mine. He does bag tags and printing services
Okay.
essentially. So he gives a great deal for clubs. I think it's like you get like a tag, a shirt, and a towel or something for $12 each. Like $12 for the package or something. Anyway, get on his website. He has a lot of great club
What's his
deals.
website?
ParagonDiscGolf.com.
Right on. Cool.
Now the Flying Goombas gets their bag tags.
That's where you guys get yours?
Putting
Yes, sir.
league
That's cool.
tags.
And he has a zero minimum amount for women's leagues. So
Yeah,
he'll
that's
print you
good.
5 tags if that's what you want. He doesn't
Yeah.
have a minimum.
and
So
the Flying Goombas have a women tag league.
that's right. So if even if it's just you and like 3 other girls, you get together on Tuesday nights and play. If you want to make yourself some tags and try to expand it, he'll print them for you. Just
Do
3
4.
of them. 4
Do
of
5 so you have
Maybe
a
do
friend.
5 so
you can
yeah.
invite somebody.
Yeah.
Hey, I got this.
Hey, if you got to come to league though.
Mhm. Every
It
week.
all starts small, I mean, some of the women on the women's committee that I work with to further women's disc golf, they tell me stories of their leagues that it took them 3 years to get more than a handful of people. It'd be like 2 or 3 girls every week for 2 years. And then now they're, now it has gotten bigger. So you just can't give up. And even though it's small still, eventually it'll find its way.
It's camaraderie too. So it's like they're actually, once you introduce someone else and then they come in and see what you're doing, they're like, man, I really enjoy what y'all are doing.
Yeah, it'll snowball
That's
eventually.
exactly.
Once it expands more and more.
So are you working also, or are you just straight disc golf, traveling, doing the disc golf life?
From March to October, I'm straight disc golf life. Although I do call it work because, I'm planning events, I'm doing clinics, I'm going to schools, there's a lot of work involved,
Right.
especially the social media side of things.
Selling discs.
Because it's social media. I didn't grow up with social media, and so for me, it's been a real struggle to create those posts and be engaging on the internet and really be authentic on the internet. I'm working on it.
So you're on Facebook, Instagram, any other platforms?
I also have a YouTube channel which has very few things on it right now, but that's going to change very soon.
We can share this to your YouTube channel also.
Sure, yeah.
What's your Instagram? Is it?
Sarah Hokum.
Okay.
It's
easy
all
to-
pretty easy.
Okay.
Yeah, and friend me on Facebook on my athlete page because my regular page is out of friends.
Once you hit
She's-
5,000, I think it's caps it off.
I had to go in and I have to delete the people that they remove themselves from Facebook, but they don't delete their profile, so it's just sitting there like taking up your space.
How do you know that is the case?
So if you go into your friends list, so we're
How do we
learning
do
something.
this?
So you go into your friends list,
Okay.
and you scroll down and you see a friend that does not have a profile picture,
Okay.
but they're still your friend.
All right.
Let's look.
Let's see.
Easy.
I know that person.
Okay, all friends.
All friends. Now just scroll for,
Oh, and you're just looking on the left
Yeah,
side
yeah,
if they don't have a picture?
and then you click on it, and it'll say this person has disabled their
Oh.
Facebook. You can remove them, and it'll say, well, now they'll have to refriend you if they decide to open their
So
Facebook.
she's gonna
again.
go through 5,000 of them, and
I mean, if you're sitting in your car, you're sitting in your van down by the river,
Right?
and you have just a little bit of internet connection. I mean,
All right.
it's something to do.
Thanks for the tip.
Clean up your friends list and get some new friends.
But if you like me, just delete 'em.
participate. That's all we want is people to participate with us.
so what inspires you every day? Not people necessarily, but about disc golf? Because I know when you first start a relationship with someone or something like disc golf, like I just got into mountain biking a couple years ago and got back into it. It was so great for the first year, then it kind of fell off a little bit. But what keeps you inspired playing disc golf? Like, is the shots, the people? I mean, not the people inspiring you, but what is it that inspires you to keep playing disc golf?
Oh, just the fact that it's completely unmasterable. Like even if you learn how to throw every shot perfectly, it's still about executing it. So, and because I feel like, at least for me, my mental state is changing almost on a daily basis. Especially as a woman, God, our menstrual cycles, holy cow, they wreak havoc on our emotions. So it's always a roller coaster mentally. So just trying to figure out different strategies to execute, the shots when you need to do them. And also just, trying to manage those emotions in general. I think that's such a challenge. I don't think that it's masterable. And also, my game right now, even though I've been playing for a dozen years, I still, there's a bunch of shots I don't know how to throw.
Right. Because you're mainly sidearm.
I'm mainly sidearm, yes. But I think I'm gonna surprise some people with my backhand this year.
Yeah.
Facing that fear, and I don't know.
You can
I've
do
been
it.
working on it
You
for a
can
long
do it.
time.
You can do it.
But all of a
Yeah.
sudden, I think I've gotten it to a point where I can show the world what
But
I
why
got.
are you sidearm? Why'd you go sidearm primarily? Usually the baseball players I see are sidearm primarily, but why sidearm for you?
Well, I did play softball for a lot of
Yeah.
years, and I was an infielder, so it's just like fielding a ball from shortstop and throwing it to first base.
Yep.
For me, that's I think where I get my form. Also, though, I think volleyball does contribute to my form.
Okay.
If you think about the way volleyball players stand when you're getting in your ready position, we're very like kind of down and hunched over a little bit, and I think that's kind of where I get that low run up on my sidearm, is because that's where my power position is.
Right.
On your toes, forward, right, hoping not to get hit in the face. Well, okay.
Yep.
So, I think definitely softball and volleyball combined is where I kind of get that form. But then with backhand, it's just been awkward to me forever. And also the fact that I do have more of a bent over power position, that makes it very difficult to throw a flat shot.
Right.
Right, because you're always going to come out at a hyzer, which I think is why Katrina Allen is a hyzer flip thrower primarily, because she's also a volleyball player, and her power
did not
position
know
also
that.
comes from
Okay.
a low position. So this is just theory by Sarah.
We're gonna break everybody down, every player.
But I'm like, why is backhand so hard for me? It's not like I don't work on it.
Right.
I do, and it's just like, oh, what is this thing? How can I make it go that way? Why is it so hyzy?
Do you videotape yourself as well?
Yeah,
Because that probably
I
would
do.
show you doing.
It does,
Yeah,
but then
yeah.
I go to do it, and I'm like,
Muscle memory brings you back down. That's funny.
every time I try to, I'll start up good, and then when I try to actually power, I go, ugh. It's like,
Throw hard.
I know, right? But it's getting there. I'm really excited for it to debut.
So that's kind of a re-inspiration, like riding and doing a new sport, me getting the bikes or whatever you get into, but now you have a new shot, more inspiration for you.
Yeah, definitely. And then it's constantly a battle to try to figure out the mental side of the sport, and I don't think it's masterable. So, there you go. It's like, you still, even though I know it's unmasterable, I'm still like, I'm gonna figure it out.
It's the passion for it to improve yourself,
Yeah.
to become better.
Yeah.
And this right here is your speed. This is where you throw your disc. Like, you have people throw into this.
Yeah,
too.
so at all of my events, so I have about 15 events scheduled for this year. I'll be releasing my schedule for those events very soon. But at all of my events, we put up a 10 by 10 tent, and this is in the back of it, and you throw your disc into it, and we figure out how fast you throw.
Clock.
So you can test your arm speed with a radar gun. Yeah.
Nice, that's cool.
Yeah. So, and we'll also be out at the Bowling Green Amateur Championships
Love that place.
with a fun game with the radar gun. So if anybody's going to Bowling Green, definitely
Bowling
look for
Green.
the MVP.
When is that?
It's April, I think it's like April 20th to the 25th or something like that.
So the tour kicks off Memorial, and then it goes to Waco. Is
Yes.
that right? And then it goes to where? Is it?
And then Texas State's,
Okay, that's right.
which is not the pro tour, that's part of the national tour, but I kind of merged the two tours in my mind, at least the pro tour
One
and the
big snake.
national tour. They do work together to make sure they don't conflict dates. And they're also separate series, but they work together. So definitely, so it goes Memorial, Waco, Texas State's in Tyler, and then Jonesboro, Arkansas. And then a lot of people will go to the Glass Blown Open after that. I am not playing that one this year. And then we're going to go to California, Oregon, Worlds, and then you come back across the top part of the country and then back down the East Coast.
Very cool. Have you played Tyler before?
I haven't.
Are you gonna play?
Oh yeah, I heard it.
This is some of my favorite
I
courses.
heard it's super fun.
Super
Wooded.
fun. Even the courses that aren't as rated as high as Dogwood, which is the highest rated one out there, they're still amazing.
I'm excited. I haven't gone out there. I probably won't get any practice there until the week before. Just it's up there. But I'm looking forward to it. I played so many. It's like every year I tour and I play the same courses all the time. That anytime we have a new course on the docket, I'm like, neat. I haven't played this one before, because otherwise it's just the same stuff.
That's kind of, I might say it wrong, but I think Texas State's was kind of initially done that way to where they're going to have it a different place and hand it off to other people to take care of it, so it is diverse. And then I think somebody may have held on to it longer, but now it's going over to Tyler, so everybody's excited because it is a new venue.
Yeah, I think it was down in Houston for like at least 2 years in a row,
Yeah,
and I think I played it both years, which they do a great job down there.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
Love those guys.
Yeah.
But nice that Tyler's getting some action because I think with the 3 courses.
I like that it's rotating. I hope it stays national tour level, because I really like to spend like more than just 1 week in Texas.
Right.
Yeah, and Waco always does a great job.
Waco's awesome.
And we get to hang out with you when you come to town.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Move to Austin.
Texas, I basically live here.
And you stay
Kind
with
of.
Stephanie Vincent, right?
Yeah,
Does
it's my
she-
BFF forever.
Yeah, so does she tour with you? So does she meet up with you at some of the
She
events?
will occasionally, especially Women's Nationals. She'll come out. She's come out to the Beaver State Fling. I think she's come out to Vermont before. Yeah, she'll shoot up, but she's got a full-time job, and she like owns the house and stuff.
Right,
Like she's
it's all
like
that weird
responsible
stuff, like
adult. She's got animals, so it's a little hard for her to get away all the time. But I know it's been a dream of hers to go on tour. It's just it's like just like everybody, life it's hard to do it.
It is hard.
You kind of have to. I mean, I've just kind of detached myself from all material things in order to do it.
Yeah.
So outside of my own van
Right.
down by the river.
Yeah,
So,
but it's-
is there a plan after disc golf?
No,
No plan.
no.
Play it as long as you can.
I don't actually operate that way. I never have. Even in college, when I was looking for colleges, I was not the one that sent away a million applications. I found a place that wanted me to play volleyball.
Live in the moment and
I'm not saying it's the best way to do it, but it's what works for me. And I know that something will guide me to where I need to be after I am done playing. And I'm sure it'll be disc golf related. And if it's not,
so many things to do with disc golf.
and also it might not be. And that's okay too, So I'm open to what the world wants to show me.
same here.
It's a little eccentric, but I'm okay with it.
I like what you're doing.
It works for me to live this way.
For sure. Less stress in a lot of ways, I'm sure.
Different kinds of stress.
Right. Just shuffle the stress around. What kind of stress do you want?
I'm like, where's the closest toilet?
Right.
Do you have one that goes on the wheel?
No,
I saw
saw one of those too. I was like, yeah, but who wants to like go poop on their like outside of their vehicle?
I would if I needed
Like,
to.
who? I mean,
But you have
if
to
you're
have
out-
the toilet stuck to your wheels, I think.
Well, you only set it up before
I mean,
you go
could
to
you
bed.
imagine? And
You know
then you
what I
have
mean?
like this like
group
tent
of people
around
showed
it.
up, like, excuse me.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
You
get
get,
it.
get a little trailer, lightweight trailer that's got a bathroom, like a porta
Yeah.
potty that you can just travel with. You'd be that
No.
van with a
Who wants
porta
to pull?
potty.
Who wants to pull a trailer? I don't want to pull a trailer. No.
So it's always like fine to get close to any restroom where you set up. You have to.
Yeah, or at least close to some woods,
Yeah.
some cover,
Yeah.
if you will.
Potty talk.
Do you have any goals for 2020? Any specific
Yeah,
targets?
I do. So specifically, I have I changed the nose angle on my putt a little bit, so I'm excited to see how my longer putts start working.
So a little more nose up to
A
get
little
more flight?
more flat, less nose down is actually
Okay.
the change. So I wouldn't say nose up at all, but less
Nose
nose
up from where you were before.
less nose down.
So you're throwing flat so that
Flatter.
the
There's
wind.
still a little nose down, but
So my question is like, the wind affects your disc. So if you're throwing nose down, if you have a headwind, you're pushing it. It's pushing
oh
it
my
down.
gosh, yes. Like I'll be like aiming high and it won't even get to the lock. It's
Right.
like it's the worst. It's the worst.
It's because you're like throwing it like
yeah,
you
it's-
want it to go in, but you're like, I'm gonna get
It's like
it in there.
traveling through the air like this,
And then it's
like
just-
a headwind. It's like
So
it's
you
seriously-
have to
And in a
actually.
tailwind, the other thing is in a tailwind.
It does the same.
I gotta aim really, really low, and it'll still, pop it up. So, because I'm push putting, I'm also not getting as much spin.
Are you trying to do a little more spin too, or just a little?
Nah, I haven't gotten that far. Not gonna really affect, because I don't want to break my wrist, right? And I don't want to have to add the wrist action,
Right.
Because that's where well, you don't know, but the the 2014 season, the beginning of it, I had like literally the worst time in my entire life of disc golf, and it was my putt, and I had like started getting the yips. I used to spin putt, and I had the yips, and I would like it'd be a close putt, and I would like throw it to 35, like airball. Airball to 35, and I was like, oh my gosh. So then I like 4-putt, and then I would like the short putts. I had no idea where they were gonna go. And like I'm looking at my hand, like, are you attached to my body? Like, what are you? So, but then I was putting in the practice. I put in the practice. Never yip a putt in practice ever. I couldn't even make myself do it.
Of course not.
But then when I got eyes on me and I'm in a tournament, I'm like, oh yeah, right there. Whoop! Oh my gosh. Did you guys see that? That just happened.
Like grip lock.
Yeah.
It was basically I was breaking my wrist. And also, like, I didn't have a good feel for the spin. So I completely changed my putt to a push putt. And it took me like 6 months to figure it out. And so then that's kind of how I learned to putt over something into the basket. And then it kept my comebackers close, and that's kind of how I've putted ever since. But now I realized my putting percentage was pretty good when the Pro Tour used to count every putt inside the circle as circle one. But now that they started counting only circle 1X, which is outside of like 15 feet. So now the only time circle 1X is 15 to 33. And my putting percentage was like disgustingly low last year from that distance. But in previous years, my putting percentage was pretty good because they counted all the times I was putting from 10 feet or 8 feet or 12 feet. So once I realized that clearly, like, I can putt great from short, from middle, but once I start getting to the edge of the circle, it's not going in, and it's because I'm too nose down. So
Just not flying.
I made a nose angle adjustment over the off season, and I think that's definitely makes them fly further, easier. I won't look so strained trying to make a 31 footer.
Right. So does anybody train you? Like, do you ask for advice from someone else that might putt different ways and go, hey, can you show me what I'm doing or what I can do to get that?
I have, most recently I haven't. I've just really been analyzing my own video, comparing that with other people, you know. But years ago, once I was trying to get through the yips, and then as I've been trying to learn backhand, I definitely sought out help. David Felberg was one who helped me with both my putt and my backhand. Paul Ulibarri, John Baldwin, Des Redding, there's probably a few more in there. Kat, she's always offered to help me.
And everybody putts so differently, so it probably is hard for someone to look at you and like help you change your putt when.
Ricky Wysocki, he was my doubles partner in 2014.
He's like, can I help you with this?
We played, he would like put everything at like 15 feet, and I had just started playing push putting at the world championships. It's like I changed it the week before because I was like, I'm not playing the worlds with this putt. So I had a brand new putt, and I was his doubles partner, and like in between rounds of doubles, he came to me, and he was showing me all these things about getting spin out of the disc, and he was so frustrated at putting it at 15 feet and me missing. He's like, come over here. We're going to go fix this.
I need you to put me at 12
thank you,
or
Ricky.
M.
Yeah. You get through it, though. And you're better off for it. So any of y'all out there experiencing some, form issues, like, just keep working at it. Video is really important. And just don't give up.
And push putt versus spin putt for you and what you see for other people is when you throw a spin, you're actually putting some speed on it, and it could potentially go way past the basket, and then you're doing that again. It's usually like 2, 3, sometimes 4 putting.
Yeah.
Push putt, if you push putt and miss, it's actually going down and landing like within a few feet of the basket. So push putt is suggested when you're learning to play disc golf, just so that you don't pile up all the strokes.
It's a little bit counterintuitive, though. I think most people naturally kind of spin putt. You think, the basket's there, let me just do this and throw it in.
Right.
Yeah. But as you said, it results in lots of comebackers. And it's also, if you're spin putting, I've never really had the yips with a push putt. I've never really seen the yips with a push putt, but I've seen the yips with a spin putt a lot. Because you've got you've got your wrist, and you've got the forearm, and you've got all these little tiny muscles that have to control that. And under pressure, controlling little muscles is harder than controlling big muscles. And in a push putt, you're using shoulder, back, legs. The wrist and the hand, the hand is just opening, and the wrist isn't doing much. The forearm isn't doing as much. So you have less small muscles managing the shot. So it's a little bit more resistant to nerves. And that's really what made me make the switch. I'm just nervous all the time anyway. So when I can find a putt that doesn't I know that I'm not going to 3 putt ever.
Right.
I'm pretty much always at least going to 2 putt. And that just gives me confidence when I step up to any putt. I know I'm not going to go blowing by it 3 times, and that just kills your score.
Now, if you miss once, then you're like, oh, look, I'm right here by the basket.
When I'm really nervous, I pull out the push elevator putt.
Yeah.
Up, down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let it float into it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when it's very windy. We got a question from the audience.
Oh, wind.
We
Wind. I hope it's not about wind.
Question from the
From our live studio audience,
live studio
John.
audience. Foot position when you're putting.
Yeah.
Right foot forward, left foot.
If you're right-handed, always want that right foot forward.
Yeah, I'm
Sorry, if you're right-handed, right foot forward, you're the opposite.
Yeah,
Mostly right foot forward, but if I'm missing, I'll switch to left
Okay.
and then just go in.
Well, if it works for you,
Right.
then good.
What do you do?
I definitely go right foot forward. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the traditional way where you're
Right.
gonna, pushing off, and that, anatomically, I think that's where you're getting the most
Power.
flow and proper muscle movement. But then, of course, there's a straddle. A lot of people will switch to a straddle when they struggle, just to kind of block the basket off and keep themselves moving towards the basket instead of maybe offline a little bit. So there's a lot of different strategies, honestly. And then really, if you're really not feeling it, just lay up and tap out and get on out of there. Go put some time on the green after the round.
What do you do to get ready for a event? What kind of exercises do you do?
Well, I definitely do Disc Golf Strong. Seth Muncie over there, he's great. I can't recommend him enough. He has a warm-up that involves, basically dynamic warm-ups of all the parts of your body, rather than maybe static stretching, which, not recent science, but physical education science or whatever has, what is it, physiology? Something. Okay. There's a word there.
She was a teacher?
That was like 10 years ago, okay?
So how do we how do we find Disc Golf Strong?
Yeah, so he has an app that you can download that has the warm up on it, and then he also has a couple of Facebook groups, and then he also has an inner circle where there's a monthly subscription, and he trains you with this app that all the exercises are there. Every video, he does a video for every single exercise. He interacts with you personally to check in with how you're doing with everything. He's really great.
And what's his background?
Sports science.
That's very cool.
And he also used to coach a professional hockey team, I believe. And he has a lot of friends who are in the professional training industry.
That's very cool. So was he a disc golfer, had that in his back pocket, and decided to apply it?
Yeah, well, he's been a personal trainer for many years now. Had his own gym and trains people in Monterey, California. But then he decided that he loves disc golf,
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, well, disc golf needs this.
Mm-hmm.
And so he designed workouts specifically for disc golfers. What we need: hip mobility, hip stability, knee stability, ankle mobility, upper back mobility, a lot of core strengthening. He does a lot. We do a lot of hip stuff to get the hips mobile and strong. So that's a lot of hips and core.
It's like a lot of like regular golf, like ball golf stuff is probably like that core and the hips and getting those kind of where they can
and the
move.
glutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's stability, mobility, strength, all related to disc golf. So he's definitely a great resource.
I'm seeing a huge trend in disc golfers out there that talk about going to the gym, working out, doing the disc golf strong.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like they're taking the sport more seriously as far as you're not just throwing frisbees, you're actually putting a lot of pressure on a lot of your joints and like whipping those discs out there.
Yeah, the sport, Seth at Disc Golf Strong, he clued me into, like, disc golf has like a 92% injury rate, something astronomical. And it's really related to overuse, repetitive motion. And at first, you're going to be fine. You can play for many years, 3 or 4 years probably. But then after that time, if you play regularly, your body's totally imbalanced. And you have to do other work outside of the sport to get your body back to balance so that you can continue to play without injury. Because when one side of your body's lopsided, it's going to affect like all the way down the chain of
Your
muscles.
spine.
Everything. All the way down. Your ankles rolled. It's going to affect you all the way up to your neck.
Yes.
It's
We have a sponsor that is Lexi's Massage, Lexi'sMassage.com.
Lexi.
Lexi,
She's
you
a
know
bomb.
her.
She
Yeah.
bombs.
She
She's like, last time I saw her, I think it was Texas Women's. She's unrated, and she's like, I'm just gonna play open.
Yep.
They've never played a tournament before. She's like, I got this. I was like, dang, girl, you go, girl.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
But she's also given me many massages and has helped my disc golf injuries by telling me, okay, so this area right here is where you're hurting yourself, and you need to like do stretches on this side of your body to eliminate those pains that are happening on this side of your body.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying, like if you roll your ankle, you're
Oh, yeah.
you're like babying yourself on one side, and then it's really affecting a whole different side of your body that you're not even realizing.
Yeah, Seth described it to me once like this, that like that every other joint in your body is either mobile or stable. So like your ankles are supposed to be, circularly mobile. Your knees are only supposed to go one direction. Your hips are supposed to be circular mobile. Your lower back is only supposed to go one direction. Your upper back is supposed to be mobile. So like if your ankle is like if we look at Paul McBeth right now, straight up, Paul McBeth has his ankle stabilized, right?
Puts pressure on the knee.
It's gonna make his knee. It's gonna make his knee be mobile,
That makes
and then it's
sense.
gonna make his hip be stable, and it's gonna make his lower back be mobile, and his upper back be stable.
That makes sense.
So everything gets switched, and your body's gonna be expected to do things it's not supposed to. It's not meant to do. If
Right,
you
you start feeling
you
the
stabilize
elements.
your ankle, which I get why he stabilized his ankle, like duh.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's hard to expect him to perform at the level he has been when you've got this stuff going on.
But that's when you incorporate your exercises and your stretching prior to doing any of your activity.
Well, and then that's actually not the recommended
No?
thing. So we want to do dynamic warm-ups before you go play. So it's not static stretching. And then afterwards, he has recovery sessions that help kind of re-stabilize and rein in all those ligaments and tendons that you've been stretching out the whole time. And then static stretching at night.
Oh, so you stretch after you do.
Yeah.
You get loose first.
So you get loose with dynamic warm-ups, and you're getting all the parts of your body warmed up without even touching a disc. And then after I do that, I just throw some putters, and then I'm good. I don't even have to throw shots. It's just dynamic warm-up, throw some putters, putt, let's go play.
Because I used to stretch sometimes, like especially my legs before I'd play, but I feel like I'd be more stiff afterwards because the body's like going, wait, what? You just stretched? And now we're trying to like hold back and. So
I don't know
totally
exactly how it works, honestly, the science behind it, but to my understanding is that like you end up, if you static stretch before you're trying to do something athletic, you lose a bunch of power in your muscles because you've lengthened them all out.
Okay.
And that somehow that contributes to you not being able to power through them as well. But then when they're just warmed up, then they're still powerful. And it's at night you want to stretch them because they've tightened up even more from you using
So
them.
you stretch before you go to bed even?
Yeah, stretching, like I like to roll out my back. And actually, so rolling, if you have a foam roller,
Very
I
painful
use
sometimes,
that.
but I love it.
It was painful for me at
Especially
first.
that.
Oh
right
gosh,
there.
the IT band.
The IT band,
Oh, I hear you. But like a roller is a really great tool. And all the workouts that I do with Seth, I don't like have to go to a gym. Like I use body weight, isometric stuff, eccentric stuff, bands, the rollers. I have a couple kettlebells I carry with me and some small hand weights. But in general, like you don't have to go to a gym. I can do everything I need to do just right outside my van, down by the river.
Down by the river.
Hopefully.
Well, speaking of that, you're having an event tomorrow night at Wells Branch. Wouldn't you want to tell the folks about that event?
Yeah, so it's called MVP Throw and Glow. So we are doing an 18-hole glow round with an MVP disc and your own putter. So it's two disc glow challenge, and it starts at 7 o'clock. I'm gonna start the clinic right at 7. Do a little sidearm clinic. I've got some tips to help you kind of work through your sidearm, and then we'll do a ring of fire for some swag, a whole bunch of swag, and then after that there's a raffle. So huge thanks to MVP Disc Sports for donating a Voyager bag, and Zuka donated a compact cart. So
That's for
these
the-
are
that's
yes.
for
So these are
tomorrow
being
night?
given away tomorrow night.
Woo. Share
Um,
with your friends for sure.
Yeah. So come on out to the Goomba, the Flying Goombas Wells Branch League, 7:00.
7 o'clock, and
Yeah.
if you show up and you get the disc, it's $25. You get some
Yeah.
glow stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. You
let's
get.
see. Pull
What
that.
do we have any?
Yeah, there's my stuff right there. Grab that right there, on top.
So your player's pack actually consists of a glow disc of your choice.
That's my choice.
Crave is a good choice
very
for
cool.
sure. Disc. And then you get a UV black light, so that'll glow that thing up nice and pretty for you to see it at night. And then you also get a pack of UV glow tape rings, which you can. These are like basically stickers, high quality stickers that you can put on your disc. So any disc you have that actually don't have glow in the plastic, you can glow them up with these.
You put it on your putter that you're gonna
Yeah.
use.
Or if you play a lot of night rounds, I think there's enough for like 7 discs on here or 5 discs, something.
for
yeah.
your non-sanctioned night round disc golf, you can't keep these on your disc for a PDGA tournament. So what you would do is me, like I have a glow disc golf bag that I play for night, and then I have one that I use for my weekend mini tournaments and my MA40 tournaments, which we have one coming up for Black Zombie Disc Golf. Has the Maynard Mash that is going on April 4th and 5th. So
Manor Mash 2.0.
2.0.
Sold out the first last year, and I'm sure we'll sell it again this year.
and we have Salt Lick providing lunch both days. It's $8 a plate, but
Providing for exchanging with cash.
yes, they'll be there for you to not have to leave the course, which is good. And if you've ever had Salt Lick barbecue,
Yum.
$8 ain't nothing.
For sure.
you may
So
be
good.
spending like $25 just for whatever bring home for family members later.
Yeah, I mean, and that'll get you more meat than you can eat.
Yeah, and then we have Lexi's Massage is also one of our big sponsors. Flying Goombas is another big sponsor. Thanks for the Flying Goombas. And Starlight Vapors is the 4th big sponsor for the tournament, and really appreciate all you guys. Look for, when you sign up, if you're non-pro, you get, what is in the,
We haven't really figured that out. We're going to put together a player's pack that's well over the amount you're paying in, whether it's 2 discs or it's a disc and a shirt.
and these sponsors will get to be on the disc this
Correct.
time.
The big sponsors like you just named. Correct.
So that's awesome that we're
Sign
able
up.
to get our sponsors put on the discs and give them a little more spin out there in the public.
And not
Yeah.
a lot of people know it, but we're actually working on making another mid-range right now. So we won't release the name yet, but we're kind of getting the plastic just right. So that might be the disc in the player's bag. So if you want to get one of the first mids from Black Zombie or second mid from Black Zombie, might want to sign up Maynard Mash 2.0 pretty quick.
It's nice and stable.
Is that out at Maynard,
Yeah.
that wooded cactus course?
Cactus is it, yeah.
Oh man, I love that course.
They've been doing controlled fire burns out there, so it's even nicer because a little bit more
Yeah.
give without as much cactus, but it's still cactusy.
I think, what is it, like 2015 Texas States?
Yep, Vinny Miller ran that one.
Yeah, me and Ricky won that.
Yep.
I remember everybody's complaining about the cactuses. I'm like, I love this place.
We're in Texan. We're in Texas.
Yeah, the guys from
Iowa.
Scotty Lee from the Crocs up in Illinois. Those guys came down and was like, "This
They're all in a
place
different
is
state, they're
awesome.
That's great.
This
But
place
they
is
love
awesome."
getting cut up because they're like, we don't have this. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm in
Who designed
Texas.
that? Wasn't that Ulf? Michael Ulf?
I think that's right.
Yes.
Yeah, he does a great job.
I hear he's still in the sport, still doing some stuff. He plays tennis on the regular now, and even competes. He was playing disc golf at a high level. Started
yeah.
playing some casual tennis. Realized he was like a badass doing that, so he started doing competitions and now. I don't know where he's at now, what circuit, if he's on TV. I don't know, but he's still dabbling in some disc golf stuff.
I think
as
he
well.
just redesigned Met Center.
Maybe that's what I
awesome.
heard about.
Yeah.
Huh. Cool. I mean, he's an athlete,
Yeah, right.
right? Can do lots of things.
Throw frisbees, hit balls, whatever it takes.
You want to name off any other sponsors?
Yeah,
Or,
Gateway Discs. That's the proprietary disc we get for Black Zombie. You know, we have the chainsaw, the flamethrower, the crossbow, the berserker, and now the new mid coming out. But they do great discs, and they used to only be known as doing the wizard, the putter. But now the new plastics they're blending together are just phenomenal. So there's a lot of people like trading out for other stuff they've carried for a while with the Gateway disc or Black Zombie disc. So check out Gateway. Give them another chance. They're
Heck
kind of
yeah.
on the rise right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love Dave. I learned to play disc golf in St. Louis. So he was the first, like, big, manufacturer I had exposure to.
Yeah, he's been around a long time, and I like to
Yeah.
talk to that guy.
Yeah.
He's really cool.
He'll talk your ear off.
For sure. Yeah.
Love
Shout
you,
out to
Dave.
Dave.
He took me to my first poker night. Yeah.
Did you
In
win?
St. Louis. I did actually win, and I definitely didn't deserve to win. The guy I went with, he told me, like, just because I never really played.
Mhm.
I knew the rules, like what beat what, but like I had no strategy.
Right.
He's like, only play if you have a face card and a high number. Otherwise, just fold to your board. And then I got heads up at the very end, and he's like, go all in every time. So I did it.
You did it and won
And I
it.
won.
And she's
That's
done ever
awesome.
since.
I went back a few other times.
She's like, I'm all in every time.
I went back a few other times and never even got close to the cash.
That's funny. Should have stopped while you're ahead.
I know, right? They figured me out.
So I saw you get a hole in one a couple of times on Jomez Pro.
Oh.
How does that make, like, people that are just starting? Explain the experience or the excitement, or what is it when you throw one throw and it goes in the basket? What is that?
It's kind of like hitting like a low end lottery. It's like when you hit a slot machine and you win like $500 or something. It's like you kind of don't expect it. You never really expect to ace. You try to just get it close.
Mm-hmm.
And you're hoping not to have much of a putt. You're hoping to birdie the hole. But then sometimes it goes in and you're like, I did it.
I got the scratch out,
but
Ma.
but it does, to me, it does feel like pure luck.
Yep.
It's like, you can say, well, yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to do, but like, yeah, I never really
It's
expected to
almost
go
like
in.
you're trying to every time, right?
Yeah,
Ish.
and there's that philosophy out there that like aces are bad shots.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
I mean, it was clearly a pretty good shot. If it had missed the basket, it would still be circle's edge at least.
Except Garrett Girthy, and neither one that just had the big.
Yeah.
407.
Par
But if he would have
four.
missed, it wouldn't have been good, right?
Oh, the behind the basket is like
I
this,
didn't say this,
and
I'm
it
talking about
rolls
it.
and it rolls to OB. Like he would have been out of bounds.
But
for
Garrett
sure.
knew he was going to hit that basket, so I mean.
Yeah, he just threw it in. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna throw.
I
this
mean,
in.
from that distance, you just try to get it close, and whether it's going to be OB behind it, or it's going to be in the sand trap to the front or the right, or it's going to be on the green to the front, or in the water to the right. Which that's why it's a par four. It's because they're just
OB all the way around the basket,
Yeah.
right? It's almost like
everywhere. I mean, and the layup, the place to lay up is like, it's maybe 10 feet in diameter is like the safe place. So I don't even know how like Sexton got a 2 on it 2 rounds in a row.
Shoot both rounds?
Yeah, and I'm like, how do you get it into that little place that's not OB?
Was he taking the hyzer shot? Is that...
I didn't see, honestly. I just saw it on the scorecard, and I'm like, it's one thing to get it once. You're like, wow, that was a great shot. And then you get it again,
he
though.
figured it out the first time. He's like,
Hey.
look, all I gotta do is.
And there's
throw
wind
this.
out there, and there's water, and water dick sucks your disc to it. Like,
It's a magnet. I
it
feel.
is. It is actually a magnet. Like, literally is. Like, one of my buddies who throws boomerangs was talking to me about this. And he's like, yeah, when water will suck you in. Like, it literally will suck you down into
hold a
it.
stick out that has and it kind of detects
Oh,
water.
yeah, right? To
Is it-
find
yeah,
a well,
water.
a place to drill a well.
Yep.
You
It's
have
like-
those swizzle sticks, or what do you
Why not just throw a frisbee wherever it lands? It's probably got water.
I know, right? Wherever it's like, wait, I don't know.
It's like so.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was pretty cool. And people are like, that's not a par four. I'm like, for the elite men, sure, it's kind of a tweener,
Mm-hmm.
But for the women, that's a par four. Sorry, like you have to throw 300 feet to get
Don't go OB.
to a tiny little space of an inbounds area, and then you have to throw over a green to the left and right of a sand trap, and then don't throw it too far because it's gonna roll down the hill out of bounds. Like precision upshot, par 4 for sure.
So there's another shout out I'd like to give to the disc golf dude. He is really close to 15,000 Facebook likes, and he's doing a big giveaway at 20,000, which probably come pretty quick. And last time I think he gave away thousands of dollars worth of stuff. He's already got a lot of stuff from different vendors. But check out the disc golf dude on Facebook, and he'll be kind of ramping up and win some big prizes there.
I just saw Pat he showed us a flamethrower. He's like, hey man, check out the new Black Zombie.
The disc golf dude.
Yeah, Black Zombie disc golf. Check out this new flamethrower. He throws it and it goes straight into the basket. He's like, check that out.
How many times did he throw it?
3. He told me. I said, tell me. I won't tell anybody. Now I'm telling everybody. Oops. Third shot was a charm. He said it went in.
That's awesome.
And he did a lot of videos with other discs, and they never went in. So I mean, that's got to be something.
Yeah, flamethrower knows the chains. Black Zombie disc golf.
You just hope it doesn't burn through them.
True.
Well,
Or chainsaw.
you know what?
Yeah, we'll have to reevaluate that. Naming.
No,
No.
we're killing the baskets.
It'll actually, because it's a flamethrower, it'll actually just melt the disc into the chains.
Yes, I know. My
Right?
disc
It's
is in here
not going to
somewhere.
cut through them.
I need to have it like a shirt with melted plastic on it.
Flamethrower. Yeah.
Yeah,
Done.
there we go.
We're in it.
And we're in it.
It's like
That's something
Sarah's-
about Black Zombie is it's kind of like bringing to life kind of the infection disc golf is. And that's kind of where I came up with the idea as far as doing Black Zombie is like disc golf is such an infection. When we get into it, we just can't stop playing. And then hold the Black Zombie thing as far as attacking baskets, having these weapons, having the flamethrower, the crossbow.
One of my friends, shout out to Sarah DeMar from Michigan. I was asking all these women at a women's event why they love disc golf, and her response was like, because it's something I will never be able to do it as good as she did. But she was discussing how it's like we're trying to feed the village. We're gonna go out there and smash chains and throw things at baskets, and she's like really related to this like really primal
Channeling the
this
primal
like existence.
we have that in us in our Garen's talking about our bacteria in our gut is our
I
primal.
could talk another 2 hours about that.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that is our primal. We are bred to be primal beings. So I could see the smashing the chains and throwing.
Using our weapons to feed the village.
Yeah,
We're so civilized, but we still want
we're
to
a bunch
have
of
that
monkeys
escape
playing
and throw and
playing
like,
in the woods.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I throw a piece of trash in the garbage, I'm like, okay. I don't know why I took it so serious, but I'm like, I'm gonna have form and throw it in there.
Let me get another piece of paper. Did I do that again?
You're like elbow up.
Spin that paper just right.
All right. We do some pump fakes here.
Right. I was gonna give away something. So our goal was to have at least or get to 1,000 subscribers. Because if I get to 1,000 subscribers, we can put people making those shots we're talking about, or kind of links like up here. You can link off and go to Sara Hokum's page. But I'm gonna have this giveaway here too. So in the next probably 2 days, I'll give away this hoodie, and we got some discs to give away as well. So make sure you subscribe. We'll go off that list, and I'll do some drawings and put some stuff out there.
Yeah, Benny Miller donated 3 discs for our interview last week.
got
And we
those.
have some Black Zombie discs that we're going to give out. And I think I'm going to get an autographed disc from Sara Hokum to give.
Is she in town?
Yeah, I think we're going to talk to Sara Hokum about autographing a disc to give out to one of the subscribers.
You
And-
sign those, actually?
And
I met her once.
she's an amazing woman.
I
She's
mean,
awesome.
I think she was in a bad mood when I met her.
Well,
She can be kind of moody.
I mean, most people have those up and down moments in life, and every time I've ever met Sara Hokum, she's been smiling and lots of fun to hang out with.
Yeah, I watch her on the course and she just frowny face all the time.
Well, that's just like getting into the mindset of I'm gonna kick some butt today.
No, I tell people like this is me smiling. Like my RBF is like it's just special.
I am happy.
Like it is me smiling on the course, even though I'm concentrating. Also, like when you're at work, here's the question: when you're at work, you're like doing stuff. Are you like,
Well,
or are you like,
Like the frown, like this.
like that's why my face is like frowny when I'm playing because I'm thinking. Like, do you think like this? Like I can't even actually think with my mouth corners up. Like, can you think when your mouth corners are up?
I can think a little bit, but it's like happy thoughts, not work thoughts.
Oh.
that's the question. You guys.
Do mouth corners, up mouth corners, like directly correlate to happy thoughts, or vice versa?
Don, we have
think that's
anybody?
Just goofiness is what it thinks.
Do we have any comments on this subject, or is anybody saying anything?
Just a bunch of people watching.
Okay.
I'm going to, with that hoodie, I'm also going to give away one of these. I don't know which one I'm going to keep, but one of them will go to you, whoever wins, and one of them will
goes
go
to
to
you.
me. Yeah, I don't know. I'll be like, which one?
Mine.
I think I like this one better, so you might get the candy.
This one's mine.
I'll probably give you this one and keep both of them.
He probably will. He'll come over. He's like, well, you already have like 3.
You got the most colorful one. This is awesome.
Well, first come, first serve, right?
Beautiful.
I'm hanging on mine in the back. No.
Actually, that one is like
Yeah, that
that
one's
one's
pretty-
very unique. I've never
Come
seen
on,
a swirl.
come on.
I have never
say-
seen a swirl like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look at
that's
the
really
back
cool.
of it. Flip it around. Let them see
Like
the
a flower.
flower. That's the killer.
It's
Is that
really-
not the hardest part about having the cool stuff and you want to keep like 10 or 15% because you're like, do I really want to?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is kind of hard, but
But you
not.
can't hoard them all, so
But
it's
no, but like it's also like I would rather everybody have the cool ones.
right.
Like I get enough